Hi everyone. Right, in this episode, which is episode 9 of the Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure, there's going to be some talk about some more historical stuff and some stuff about different cults and religions and stuff as well. So I'll try and crack on as fast as I can. So going to Sesen.
I check out Sesen was smart, Alex, and find out it's some sort of doomsday cult recruiting candidates for a brave new world. And they believe this world will arrive soon. These boys take their schoolwork seriously.
Okay. I've been having a lot of problems with getting the sound balance right, because there's so many different options. You've got voice sound, you've got effects, you've got music.
Well, there's some interesting symbols written on these pillars.
Okay, good. Right, now what I've got to do is make those ones over there match these ones over here. So no problem. I've done this a few times before. Okay, that one's right. Second one should be, what is it? Okay. Third one's right. This one should have that one. And this one's...
Well, there's some interesting symbols written on these pillars.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I arrive at Sesen and set off every alarm possible. I'm missing a token that would grant me entry inside. I head back to my office to devise a new strategy when I find a fax waiting for me. Someone's been watching over my shoulder, and it's not a comforting feeling.
So it's going to be difficult to get my voice so that you can hear what I'm saying. Okay.
An anonymous informant wants to meet me.
Okay. Let's go meet him. Coit Tower.
Yep, this is a great idea. Just waiting to meet some anonymous chap who still sends faxes. You know, he probably uses real bullets.
I think you need to be a little more
The
trusting.
elevator's still up there, but what I didn't notice earlier was...
I'm plugged into the internet. The internet! And you want me to trust people?
Good point.
So they haven't done a great job of the sound balancing, really. Never mind. Oops.
Hello, mate.
Slade? How? What? Weren't you in...
Locked up in San Quentin till 2260? No, not me. Good behavior.
What, you got 10 years knocked off for good behaviour? I'm sceptical.
Behavior doesn't get that good. I bet you can't even remember how many people you've killed.
Oh, I bet I can. Each one in perfect detail. Not like you. Understand your memory's not what it used to be.
Aging gracelessly.
Yeah, well, we're all getting older.
Some more than others, I see. So what don't you remember?
Just the last 7 years.
So you don't remember everything after you and Chelsea got nicked?
Got nicked.
Chelsea's brother? The English woman, Juliet? Our little partnership?
Our partnership? Look, I know we just made up, but I think I'd rather lick toilets with my tongue than work with you.
Ah, but you did, Tex.
I did? Which one?
Work with me?
Which
That
one?
paid a lot better than licking dunnies.
So,
How do you think you made all that money?
he's supposed to be Australian.
These past few years have been, shall we say, mutually beneficial.
I'm not sure
Now
what
it
part of
seems
Australia he's from.
Same old Tex.
Maybe it's kind of a
Scout is back.
neutral accent.
That's a problem.
You want to know what's wrong with the Boy Scouts? Not a darn thing.
So you've been helping us track down this precious little egg. First you say you got it, then you say Margaret Leonard stole it. Next thing I know, you turn up at Sesen, tripping security alarms like some clueless amateur.
I am a clueless
What the
amateur.
hell was that all about?
For your information, I set those alarms off on purpose. I don't have to tell you why.
Always got to do everything the hard way, don't you, Tex?
Yep. This is a video game.
This will get you into Sesen.
This is the reason I'm going to be talking about stuff. See, that looks like a Freemasonic symbol.
That egg. And then I'm going to come looking for you. And you know I'll find you.
So I'm going to be talking about Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, Knights Templar, what else? Francis Bacon, Dr. John Dee, Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Mary, and the Founding Fathers, and lots of other things. So let's get back to Sesen.
You can be hung over from things other than alcohol. My meeting with Slade left me shivering like I had the DTs. This guy and I were partners over the last 7 years. There's trouble in my soul and it's become as cold as ash. The further I see down the barrel, the more dangerous and diabolical my world becomes.
Day 5. Sesen Candidate, or Little School of Horrors. I have to say the Manchurian Candidate was a big disappointment when I saw that movie. I was looking forward to it coming out. This is years ago, of course. It was the shadow of the, what was it, the Maltese Falcon? It was the original. I think it was based on a Frederick Forsyth novel, wasn't it? Right, let's get cracking. So, we've got this Freemasonic looking symbol.
Well, Big Jim Slater's right. This is
There we go, so we're in. Gonna do a really
Arthur, King of the Britons.
dodgy English accent. Okay, so there's our first.
That's a hook. It's my favorite artificial lamp.
Right, now listen to him.
Welcome, friend. You are about to begin a journey to an incredible destiny. The successful candidate will become part of an elite aristocracy that will rule a universe beyond imagination. To begin your quest, please set the 7 sacred symbols in their proper place. To begin your initiation to a new destiny.
Okay, so he talked about a group of elite rulers. So these are the 7 symbols I gotta find. So you could say that's Illuminism, the Illuminati.
Well, it's one of the symbols, but it's out of my reach.
I'm just showing you these. I will be getting them.
There's one of the sacred symbols underneath this stone tile, but
Oh, 30-pound brick.
hey, no problem. That might come in handy.
Well, indeed. Now I've got to look at these just to
A
get
hook. Strong rope.
I guess luck counts for...
It's not luck. I've played it 5 times already. Okay, so right. So the things he said, he was talking about initiation. It's obviously a secret
This
fraternity,
sacred symbol has been broken into several pieces.
which the mother of all secret fraternities would be Freemasonry. The Scottish Rite, the York Rite, depending on what path you choose to go down.
Yeah, one summer night I took out half the windows in the neighborhood with a slingshot. This sacred symbol has been broken into several pieces.
And I use the word go down advisedly.
This sacred symbol has been broken into several pieces. This sacred symbol has been broken into several pieces. This sacred symbol has been broken into several pieces. This sacred symbol has been... It's a magnetic resonator board.
And the magnet.
Looks like a piece of one of
resonator
those symbols.
board.
This sacred symbol has been broken
gonna
into
come in
several
handy.
pieces.
Now, I want to go into another room. Right. I want to go into this room because I want to show you a painting. Now this is what got me thinking. So, what have we got here? We've got ancient Egypt. We've got slaves. We've got northern US soldier from the Independence War period. This guy, I'd say, is probably French, so it could be Pierre L'Enfant, who was one of the Freemasons who designed Washington DC, if you go on Google Earth. And I'm going to try and, if you go on, oh damn, didn't get them all, there's one more. Yeah, if you go on Google Earth and then you look down on Washington DC from above, you will see Freemasonic and occult symbols all over the place. The street layout, on buildings, there's like a pentagram, there's the square and compasses, there's a pyramid that has 13 streets between the base and the tip, which is 13 is a very important Freemasonic number. Damn, where's that last one? I'm sure it's 9. Let me just check.
How hard did you hit your...
Shut up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it looks like a piece
Okay.
of one of those symbols.
So, as I was saying, right, let's just put these together. See, this thing,
It's a magnetic resonator board. Helps reassemble broken pieces.
there you go. Ta-da.
Well, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, it'll work. So, we've got to go back quite a long way to understand the significance of the founding of the United States. In fact, we've got to go all the way back to two men who were in the court of Queen Elizabeth I. The first man is Dr. John Dee, who was an occultist and did a lot of ceremonial magic, which is kind of like it's magic but very ritualized, sort of, you could call it high magic, very powerful, very powerfully occult, that is. Not sure if that was there or... yeah, so Dr. John Dee, he was part of Queen Mary I's court. There we go, now we've got the Ankh,
The Ankh symbol.
or the Ankh, depending on how you wish to. So Dr. John Dee, under Queen Mary I. So, right, this is important.
This winery was established in 1879. 1879.
So you repeats 1879. Right, then you've got these bottles that you can move in and out. So you've got 4 rows, 9 columns. So 1, 8, 7, 9. Ta-da!
Well, maybe I can use this lead pipe to my...
Yes, you can.
Man, I've been hit so many times in the head with a lead pipe.
I'm
we go.
experiencing a sensation altogether new to me, and frank.
Well, looky here.
Fulcrum. And then we
Well,
open this.
what happened?
Okay.
Well, there's got to be some reason this mural was hidden. Better look at it closely.
So something on this mural does not belong. Oh, and look at there
Now I
it
could
is.
use that.
So that's another symbol, which is called the
Neater.
Nita. Okay. Right now. Okay, so you got Pharaoh and Anubis. To there. Actually, up to there. There we go.
Now here's something you don't see.
Right,
every
so
day.
Dr. John Dee.
Take.
He ended up in the Tower of London. Mary the First put him there because I think it was because of his occult activities. She was a devout Catholic and a hater of Protestants. In fact, she
Pickled egg.
became known as Bloody Mary because of the number she killed.
This pickled egg must be over 100 years old.
So
It's
we're
as
gonna-
hard as a rock.
So we're going to take the slingshot and the egg, and that'll load the slingshot.
Well, yeah, that'll work.
That'll work. So while Dr. John Dee, was in the Tower of London, Princess Elizabeth was put in there as well by her sister Queen Mary, her half sister, I should say. So what we got to do is get all these lit up green. That was down. There we go. That one. Thank you.
Winner, winner.
So, Dr. John Dee was into all sorts of
The Amenta.
occult things. He prayed to angels, he summoned demons, summoned angels, which fallen angels. Right. And when after Mary died, I believe she died. She had a phantom pregnancy. I think that's what killed her. She was a very troubled woman.
You still got it, my friend.
Hopefully it was her conscience. Right, I need to go get this one from up here. I'm going to use the slingshot for this one. So Elizabeth and John Dee became
Got it.
confidants in the Tower of London, and when Elizabeth became queen, John Dee became an advisor and also an agent for the crown as well in foreign lands. And get this, his code was 007. He signed all these documents 007.
Well, I know what this is. It's a
Okay,
thing that
so we're done.
does that thing.
So got some more stuff to say, so I'm just going to find it. So, I'm just going to stand somewhere it's a little bit quieter. So you also had Francis Bacon, who was part of Elizabeth I's court. Now, Francis Bacon also was very heavily into the occult. He was also, some people call him the grandfather of science, because he was also very interested in knowledge. He brought the scientific method to the fore, which wasn't practiced back then. They basically debated everything, and whoever won the debate, that became the truth. Whereas, and this obviously was in the time of the Enlightenment, so-called. So he'd go out and he'd draw pictures of plants and stuff, and he'd observe them in their natural surroundings, and he'd write notebooks and stuff. He also had a school of scribes that he paid, and they'd write plays and stuff. There is a strong case to suggest that William Shakespeare did not write those plays. It was actually Francis Bacon and his scribes, because William Shakespeare was an actor from the Midlands. Whoever wrote the works of Shakespeare, known as the works of Shakespeare, had to have been very familiar with the workings of court, and also of the law, the law of the court. And Francis Bacon, that was his raison d'etre. He actually, they did these plays, I can't remember what they were called now, and he wrote a lot of them, and they were done for the royal court. Anyway, Francis Bacon had a dream, and it was a dream that has been held for a long time, and it was based on the myth of Atlantis, and he believed that the new world, the United States, which would become the United States, was to be the new Atlantis and had a special destiny. So he sent agents out there. He was a Rosicrucian. He sent Rosicrucian agents out there. There are places in the United States, there are Rosicrucian centres and stuff. So all these things are all intertwined. Also, before this, in the Middle Ages, you had the Knights Templar. Now, the Knights Templar's job was they took pilgrims. These were usually rich merchants and aristocracy. They would take them to the Holy Land, to Jerusalem, so they could make a pilgrimage, and they would keep them safe. They would be well paid, of course, but also while the Knights Templar were there, they picked up a lot of esoteric wisdom, in inverted commas, from the Moors, from the Turks, and when they came back, they were very rich and very powerful, and the Pope didn't like that. So he decided to excommunicate them all and order their arrest. So most of them were rounded up. They were ritually tortured and killed. Those that survived, now this is quite important to this part of this game, those that survived escaped to Scotland, and there's a chapel in Scotland called Roslin Chapel. Now in that chapel there's lots of symbols, and when you consider this chapel was built in the Middle Ages, and it's got carvings on the walls of plants and like corn and stuff that you could only find in the New World. Now, of course, there's the belief in the United States, you have, Columbus Day and stuff, that Columbus discovered America, but everyone knows, well, most people know, that he didn't discover America. In fact, he wasn't even going to find America. He was going to find the 77th meridian, and he was also a Knights Templar himself. When you see pictures of his ship, white sails, red cross, Knights Templar. Now, so these Knights Templar who escaped to Scotland, they had to hide somehow, but they needed to they wanted to keep their wisdom alive, and they needed a way of communicating in code. So what they did was they came up with these hand signals, handshakes, and points of entry, which is ways of standing, and phrases, code phrases. I know quite a few of them. I know a lot of the points of entry. I know the phrases. I could pass as a Mason, which I wouldn't want to do. Anyway, so they disappeared. In what they did was they chose the Guild of Masons. These were stonemasons, the Stonemasons Guild, and because the stonemasons who built all the cathedrals all over Europe and in England and Scotland, all these Catholic, there were Catholic cathedrals. They couldn't read or write, so when they were looking for work, they had they'd go to whatever the equivalent was of a foreman back then, and they'd do a handshake. So if they were first degree Mason, they'd do a first degree Mason handshake. Second degree. So you got entered as apprentice is the first degree. I can't remember what the second one's called. The Master Mason is the third degree, but it actually goes up to 33. And a lot of people actually believe it goes up to 90th because you've got the three different ways of getting there. You've got the Scottish Rite, the York Rite, and you've also got the Shriners in America, only in America, and I think there's another one, and I can't remember what that's called. It might be esoteric, ancient Egyptian esoteric Freemasonry. So in England, I can't remember what year it was, the Mother Lodge was opened, which is actually the kind of Grand Lodge to all the other Grand Lodges throughout the world. So when America was founded, you had all these men, the founding fathers as they become known. They were all Freemasons. Now there is a kind of possibility that Washington wasn't a Freemason, or if he was, he became disillusioned with it and stopped being a part of it. But also in 1776, make a note of that date, you had something created which was called the Bavarian Illuminati. This was in Ingolstadt University, and it was a professor of divinity called Adam Weishaupt who founded it with financial backing from the Rothschilds. Now this lasted for about 10 years, and then the conspiracy was found out. The way it's explained that it was found out, I don't actually believe, because there's no actual documentary evidence for it. It's just kind of become a myth that a rider of the Illuminati was riding from a meeting, and he had all these secret documents in his saddlebag, and he got struck by lightning, and when they found his dead body, they found all the documents, and the conspiracy was exposed. But there's no actual documentary evidence about that actual thing happening. Anyway, it did get exposed somehow, and it got shut down, and it was made illegal. But by that time, the Bavarian Illuminati had infiltrated all the lodges, the Freemasonic lodges of Europe. Now, I'm not saying Freemasonry is good. It's not. It's bad. But it got even worse with Illuminism, because basically what Adam Weishaupt wanted to do was destroy all the monarchies of Europe, and also he wanted to destroy the church in all its forms, whether it be Protestant or Catholic. He was also, I think he was into the occult as well, and he had this kind of Hegelian, Hegel was a German philosopher who believed that the state was, Hegel I think came later, but he believed that the state was everything, that the individual people didn't matter, the state was the most important. So if you read 1984, that's a Hegelian nightmare. So that was what Adam Weishaupt wanted to do, and the way he wanted to do it was he wanted everyone to go back to paganism and basically frolic around, have sex with each other whenever they wanted, and basically behave like animals. But the way he'd do it was they'd create some kind of controversy or something bad that got people upset. Then they'd come up, they already had the solution. So it's become known as the Hegelian dialectic, which is problem, reaction, solution. So they cause a problem, the people react, and then they've already got the solution. It's also antithesis, synthesis. I've forgotten the third one. It's another type of synthesis. Freemasonry is kind of hurting at the moment because they're not getting as many members. I think the average age is pretty old of a Freemason, because they're not allowed to advertise, although they kind of do. Like if you read Dan Brown's terrible book, Da Vinci Code, that's basically Freemasonry, and Angels and Demons and all the other ones. And he's also a liar. Dan Brown lies in the book. In the foreword he says that he talks about the Priory of Sion. That's S-I-O-N. It's nothing to do with the Jews, it's to do with the Catholic Church. And he says, this is a documented fact, this is what he says in the foreword, this is a documented fact that the Priory of Sion was founded in, I can't remember what date, but it was the Middle Ages. Complete lie, absolute lie. It was created in 1955, I think, or something. So, he starts off with a lie. And he based all his stuff, or a lot of his stuff, on a book that I actually read in the 80s, which was called Holy Grail, where it postulates, very badly, claiming to be historical and using historical evidence and research. None of that's true. That Jesus Christ did not die on the cross, married Mary Magdalene, had children, which became the Holy Grail, was Jesus' bloodline, the Holy Bloodline, and that Joseph Arimathea went to Europe, and eventually this bloodline became the Merovingian dynasties, the black nobility of Europe, and now are like the royal family in the UK, with the royal family that was in Germany at the time. There was in Russia with the Tsar and the Romanov family, and also Holland, Spain, France. And the Illuminati actually started the French Revolution. So all this stuff is all intertwined, all this historical stuff that's, a lot of people call it conspiracy theory. I don't think it's conspiracy theory. I'm a little bit dubious about the Illuminati stuff because of too much hearsay, not enough evidence, but there is certainly what people call bloodlines, families that go back generation upon generation, who are incredibly wealthy, incredibly powerful, and basically pull the strings from the shadows. Most people wouldn't even know who these people are. They're not famous. Some of them are, like the Bushes.
And now the journey of the symbols begins. Candidates are selected for their superior intelligence and physical attributes. The Sesen elite will wield the royal authority over the dominions of Earth and beyond.
Sesen elite.
The test to join Sesen is not without risks. When you cross the threshold, it is literally a journey to the underworld, where either eternal life or eternal death awaits.
So when he says literally, is he actually using the term as it's supposed to be used, or is he actually meaning figuratively? I'll find out when I go into the next part, because I haven't done that. So you'll notice that he just said the elites will rule, these ruling elites he's talking about, because they think of themselves as I'm trying to philosophical kings, but they haven't taken power yet. So when you hear about things like the New World Order, which George Bush Sr. talked about a lot, and people like Henry Kissinger, but also there's been some false stuff in this conspiracy perpetuated throughout Europe and still being perpetuated in America today, and that was the Elders of Zion, this fake document that's been proved to be fake a long time ago, and it was basically setting out all the aims of this conspiracy, but as a Jewish conspiracy, that it was a bunch of Jews. So that increased anti-Semitism, like for instance the Tsar of Russia, he really perpetuated it, but it was proved to be false, that it was faked a long time ago. There's still people who actually believe it's true now, but they're basically people who are just anti-Semitic, and they don't need as much of an excuse, and they're not really interested in the truth. And it's good when you look at all these families, these bloodlines, if you want to use that term. They're not one thing. They're all different. They go right across the spectrum. They're not one race. They're not one cultural group. Anyway, thanks for watching. We will carry on in the next episode and see if it goes into deeper mysteries. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Cheers for now.